Good morning. Today we will be talking about LeanGard All Plant Protein through our KTC. I'm sure that the most awaited product has been launched last week, and I'm sure that you have seen Mr. Ajay's launching presentation on the same. So this is our LeanGard All Plant Protein, which is a 400 gram pack. So we say that it adds value to your food. So let us see the benefits of all plant protein. Our food mainly consists of carbohydrates, fats and proteins. So we all are aware that the major food that we eat is comprised of three things, which is carbohydrates, fats and proteins. So today let us focus on proteins because we are going to be talking about LeanGard All Plant Protein. The word protein comes from a Greek word called prota, which means of the first rank or of primary importance. So this shows us that proteins is of a primary importance for our body. So these molecules were first described and named by the Swedish chemist Jöns Jacob Berzelius in 1838. So it is not yesterday or few years back that proteins were discovered. It was in the year 1838 when actually the protein was discovered and was named as proteins by a Swedish chemist. The first protein to be sequenced was insulin, which was by Frederick Sanger. So protein is found throughout the body. If we see that our muscles, our bone, skin, hair and virtually every other part of the body or tissue is comprised of protein. There are at least 10,000 different proteins which make you what you are and keep your body intact. 25% of your eating plate must be protein. So it is very important to have a balanced diet which has enough amount of protein when you eat. So which means that out of whatever you eat in a day, 25% has to be a protein rich diet. So apart from water, proteins are the most abundant kind of molecules in the body. We all know that water is the most abundant molecule in the body. So after water, the second most abundant molecule is protein. Protein constitute the chief solid matter of muscles, organs and endocrine glands. They constitute about 20% of the body weight. So now let us see what does proteins actually do. So proteins basically are helpful in building of tissues, they are helpful in the maintenance of tissue integrity and they also help in the repair of tissues. We need more protein to build and repair cells and make new bone cells. It is important to stimulate muscle protein synthesis and maintain muscle mass and function. As there is no protein storage pool, so we all know that fats and carbohydrates can be stored in the body and then it can be utilized as energy. But since there is no protein storage pool like fats and carbohydrates, the human body misses a dynamic balance that maintains homeostasis. So it becomes very important that the protein needs to be supplied to our body every day through a diet and it should be consumed as per the RDA. So how much protein do we need? The right amount of protein for any individual depends on many factors. So few of the factors are activity levels, the age of the person, the muscle mass, the physique goals and the current state of health. The average protein intake recommended by ICMR, that is the Indian Council of Medical Research, is 1 gram per kg body weight per day. So this is the amount of average protein which an adult needs to take. So there are a lot of things which protein deficiency leads to. So let us see what are the effects of protein deficiency. So protein deficiency leads to loss of muscular build, it leads to repeated infections, it leads to changes in nail and hair health, decreased energy levels, disturbance in the reproductive health and mental confusion, loss of bone density and delayed wound healing. So these are some of the effects of protein deficiency. So now let us see what are the sources of proteins. So we all know that there are two main dietary sources of protein. One is the animal source and one is the vegetable source. So animal source of proteins are like milk, meat, fish, egg and cheese. Whereas in the vegetable source we have pulses and legumes, cereals, beans, nuts, oil seed cakes, etc. So now let us see what is the importance of plant protein. So we all know that the major supplements, the protein supplements which are there are also from animal sources, which means we see a lot of supplements which has whey protein, which is a milk protein. We have caseinate, which is again a milk protein. But then there are a lot of importance of plant protein over animal proteins. So let us see what is the importance of plant protein. A health benefit of plant protein was first indicated by findings that vegetarian populations tend to have lower blood pressure and plasma cholesterol. So earlier sometime when there were studies done, it was found that vegetarian people have a lower risk of blood pressure and cholesterol, because of which people concluded, or scientists concluded, that the plant proteins are more healthier than the animal proteins. So dietitians say that plant-based proteins are more healthier than the meat counterparts. That's because they are packed with more nutrients and with lesser calories. So if you see the animal protein, when we take animal protein, we definitely are taking a lot of protein into our body, but then if you see, it is a very high calorie intake which goes into our body. But if you see a plant-based protein, the plant-based protein is rich in its nutrients, but we also see that it is not very high in calories, but is apt or very minimal in calories, so that it can be easily digested. So plant-based proteins also have one thing which animal proteins do not have, so which is fiber. Gopi, the change, it's not changing. Okay, so plant-based proteins have a lot of fiber in them. So if you see, when we take a very high protein diet, there are a lot of people who complain of constipation, or who complain of indigestion or no proper digestion of the protein which is taken. But then if you see in plant-based proteins, it has fiber which helps in digestion, promotes a healthy gut microbe, and is strongly associated with lower cardiovascular risks. So with plant proteins, you get less saturated fat and no cholesterol, which is helpful to have a good cardiac health. One recent meta-analysis in the Journal of American Medical Association noted that substitution of plant protein for animal protein may confer a substantial health benefit, and advised that policies promote plant proteins. So there was a meta-analysis which was done which showed very clearly that plant proteins have an upper hand on the animal proteins. So let us see which are the vegetarian sources of proteins. So there are a lot of vegetarian sources of protein, which are soya beans, almond, black beans, black-eyed peas, broccoli, chickpea, oatmeal, pumpkin seeds, green peas, quinoa, and so on. So we will be concentrating exclusively on the soya bean and green peas, because our LeanGard All Plant Protein is a blend of soya bean protein extracted from soya bean and protein extracted from green peas. So do we get the required amount of protein from our diet? So we all say that we eat healthy, I eat a lot of vegetables, I eat a lot of fruits, I eat a very balanced diet. So does that mean that you get the required amount of protein from your diet? No. That is because the kind of food that we take these days and the kind of lifestyle which we are leading today, we do not eat healthy food. We may feel that we are eating healthy, but with the kind of pesticides that are added to the plants and with the kind of food and staples which reaches at the end, we know that our food is not nutrient dense and is not nutrient rich. So definitely we do not get the amount of protein which is required by our body from the diet that we consume. So do you want to add value to your food without altering its taste? So we all know that there are a lot of protein drinks which are available, which are probably flavored, which are loaded with lots of sugar, and and a lot of people do not like the taste of these protein drinks. So it becomes very difficult to incorporate a protein drink to meet to the needs of your daily protein requirement. So here we come with a solution wherein we are introducing LeanGard All Plant Protein, which will add value to your food without altering the taste of your food. So with the goodness of the blend of plant proteins for a healthy lifestyle. So LeanGard All Plant Protein adds value to your food. So now let us see the key benefits of LeanGard All Plant Protein. So it is 100% plant protein, which means that we have not added any animal source of protein in this product. There are no added sugars, so it is very safe to be taken by diabetics and people who are anti-sugar, because we know that there are a lot of people today who are anti-sugar, who feel that consumption of lot of sugar is not good for health. So this is for people who are very diet conscious and who do not prefer drinks which has added sugars. It has no added flavors. So we know that flavor is a very personal choice. So there are a lot of people who do not like different flavors. So our LeanGard All Plant Protein does not have any added flavors, and it can be consumed or it can be added to any food that you take to increase the amount of protein in your food. So this is 100% plant protein, which is also rich in fiber. So since it is rich in fiber, it is very easy to digest, unlike the other protein drinks which have some issue with respect to digestion. So the LeanGard All Plant Protein has the following ingredients. So we have soya protein isolate, we have the soya fiber, we have inulin, which is again a fiber, and pea protein, which is a source of protein. So now let us see each of these ingredients one by one. So soya fiber. Soya fiber is a unique fiber which is made from the protein of the soybean cotyledon or cell wall, and thus has the benefits of both soluble and insoluble fiber. So this is a fiber which is extracted from soya beans, and it is rich in soluble and insoluble fibers. So reports indicate that the role of soya fiber is in reduced weight gain. So it helps in managing your weight, lower BMI, which means that your body mass index is taken care of, delayed gastric emptying, which means that there is no issue related to the gut, and increased satiety. So there is a feeling of fullness because of the consumption of soya fiber. So these are the key benefits of adding soya fiber in LeanGard All Plant Protein. So let us see what is the importance of soya protein isolate. So soy protein isolate is a highly purified form of soy protein, separated and isolated from other components of soybean. So it is basically the protein which is extracted from soybeans. So it is reported to improve the body composition in obese and overweight people by reducing fat but by preserving the muscle mass. So soya protein isolate plays a major role in managing your weight. So we all know that a high protein diet always helps in managing your weight, and soya protein has a major role to play in reducing your fat content. So now let us talk about the fiber inulin. So inulin is a soluble dietary fiber and is a naturally occurring oligosaccharide which belongs to the group of carbohydrates called fructans. So if you see, this is a root which, this is a root from which the fiber is extracted. So inulin basically as a fiber gives you a sensation of satiety or fullness without raising your blood sugar levels or adding many calories. So basically inulin as a fiber plays a major role in the sensation of satiety, which means that you feel full when you have the LeanGard All Plant Protein because of the presence of inulin in the product. So now let us see some details about pea protein. So pea protein is the protein derived from Pisum sativum, which is nothing but our green peas. It is a rich source of the amino acid arginine. So it has a very high digestibility score, which means it can be easily digested unlike other animal proteins. It is safe and of a sustainable origin. So we all know that green peas has been something which has been consumed by all of us from a very long time. So there is no question about the safety and sustainability of the protein which has been extracted from pea protein. So it is a very safe plant protein which has been extracted from green peas. So dairy proteins have lactose that may be difficult to be digested. So if you know that the major component of dairy protein or animal protein like whey protein or calcium caseinates or sodium caseinates is lactose, so which is very difficult to be digested, whereas plant proteins are free of lactose and hence are easily digestible. We also saw that plant proteins have fiber present within, which helps in easy digestibility of the plant protein. So if you know that there are a class of people who are called as lactose intolerant. So it becomes very difficult for lactose intolerant people to digest any protein which has lactose in it. So if you see the plant proteins or our LeanGard All Plant Protein can easily be digested by people who are lactose intolerant. The high protein content in LeanGard All Plant Protein ensures that even if you are lactose intolerant, you get the right amount of protein. So now for people who are lactose intolerant, they need not worry about getting the right amount of protein, because we now have LeanGard All Plant Protein, which is a lactose free protein. So now let us see some key benefits of the LeanGard All Plant Protein. It is a vegan friendly protein. So we know that now there are a lot of people who are turning vegan by choice. So vegetarian is a terminology where we say that they do not consume anything of, which is from a meat source. But if you see vegan people who follow a vegan diet, they do not consume anything which is from an animal source. For example, people who follow a vegan diet do not consume milk or milk products. So since LeanGard All Plant Protein is free of any milk product and lactose, it is called as a vegan friendly protein. It is lactose free. It is natural since it is derived from all plant sources, and this can be used to fortify any food naturally, since this has no added flavors or no added sugar. So this does not alter the taste of any food to which you add this protein. So this is recommended to be added to any type of food that we eat, so that we can fortify the food that we eat without altering the taste of the food. This can be safely added to any food like curries, wheat flour, milk, juices, shakes, buttermilk, water and so on. So it means that any of the food that you eat in your regular diet, in your day-to-day life, that can be fortified by adding LeanGard All Plant Protein. So directions of use. So mix 2 scoops, which is approximately 20 gram of LeanGard All Plant Protein, with any food or beverage of your choice. So this can also be consumed by kids who are about 12 years of age, since this is a very safe and natural form of protein. It must be taken along with a sensible diet and adequate exercise. So now let us see. So we said that we can use it with in our day-to-day diet. We can add it to any of the food that we eat. So let us see the amount of LeanGard All Plant Protein which needs to be added to some of the different food commodities which we use in our day-to-day life. So if you see the chapatis or parathas that we use in our daily food, for preparing 3 numbers of chapati, the quantity of LeanGard All Plant Protein to be added is 20 gram or 2 scoops. So how do you make the rotis or chapatis with LeanGard All Plant Protein? You need to add 2 scoops of LeanGard All Plant Protein to the atta before making the dough, and finish making the dough and make chapatis. So your chapati is now fortified with protein. So for puri again it is the same. For 6 number of puris you need to add 20 gram or 2 scoops of our LeanGard All Plant Protein. So any vegetable preparation with gravy, for 2 big bowls we advise you to add 20 gram of or 2 scoops of LeanGard All Plant Protein. So once you finish preparing your vegetable curry, you can just add 2 scoops of LeanGard All Plant Protein and mix the curry, so that the vegetable gravy or vegetable curry that you have made is rich with protein. The prepared dal, again 2 big bowls, 2 scoops. The idli dosa batter, for 4 idlis or 3 dosas, we recommend 2 scoops to be added. So the LeanGard All Plant Protein needs to be added to the batter, and then the idlis or dosas are need to be prepared. So the ragi balls, for 2 numbers, we generally recommend to add 2 scoops. So we then have puttupudi, which is a very authentic cuisine of Kerala. So this, for 2 numbers, we recommend you to add 2 scoops of our protein powder. For sambar, 2 big bowls, we recommend you to add 2 scoops. So accordingly you can change the amount of LeanGard All Plant Protein which needs to be added. For 2 big bowls of rasam, we recommend you to add 2 grams or 2 scoops of 20 grams or 2 scoops of the powder. For 1 big bowl of upma, we recommend you to add 20 grams. So when you are preparing upma, so when the water boils, we recommend you to add 2 scoops and then add the rava or whatever and prepare the upma accordingly. So in the fresh fruit juices, we generally recommend to add 1 scoop for 1 glass. So if you are going to be having 1 glass of juice, we recommend you to add 1 scoop of LeanGard All Plant Protein. Stir well before you consume. For any sweet like halwa or shira or what we call as kesari bath, for 1 big bowl, we recommend you to add 2 scoops of LeanGard All Plant Protein. For any kind of laddus that are made, if you want your laddus to be healthy, so we know that it's very difficult to resist eating sweets. So if you want to make your sweets healthier, just add 2 scoops of our LeanGard All Plant Protein so that your laddus are rich in protein. So that is about our LeanGard All Plant Protein, which adds value to your food. So I'm sure you would have enjoyed knowing about LeanGard All Plant Protein, and I'm sure that now you would definitely want to try using LeanGard All Plant Protein in your day-to-day diet. So please try buying LeanGard All Plant Protein. Please do recommend it to your friends and family and make sure that everybody eats healthy and eats a high rich protein diet in their everyday food. Thank you very much.